Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Over 10 crore 45 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. 1,68,912 new COVID-19 cases reported in the country in the past 24 hours. Chhattisgarh government imposes lockdown in 17 districts amid surge in COVID-19 cases. Maharashtra government and COVID task force discuss measures to be taken in the wake of spike in coronavirus cases in the state. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari says government is committed to uplift MSME sector. Steps will generate 5 crore employment in the sector. Campaigning gathers momentum for the 5th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and for parliamentary by-polls in Tirupati and Belgaum. Withdrawal of candidature for 7th and 8th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal takes place today. Second Shahi Snan takes place in Kumbh Mela at Haridwar. Nomadland adjudged Best Picture at the British Academy of Film and Television Arts BAFTA Awards. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Punjab Kings this evening at Mumbai. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Over 10 crore 45 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. Union Health Ministry said that more than 29 lakh 33,000 beneficiaries have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours. A total number of 1,68,912 new cases have been reported in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative positive cases to over 1 crore 35 lakh. The Health Ministry said 904 deaths have also been reported to the last 24 hours, taking the toll to over 1,70,000 across the country. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate is at 89.86%, with a recovery of more than 75,000 patients in the last 24 hours. The ministry said that more than 1 crore 21 lakh patients have already recovered from the disease. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is over 12 lakh 1,009, which comprises of 8.88% of the total positive cases. The expert panel of the Central Drug Regulator DCGA will meet today to discuss grant of emergency use authorization to the Sputnik V vaccine. The clinical trial of the vaccine in India has been done by Dr. Reddy's lab. The Hyderabad-based multinational Indian pharma company Dr. Reddy's Lab has also inked an agreement with the Russian Direct Investment Fund RDIF for supply of the Russian Sputnik V vaccine in India. The subject expert committee of the Indian Drug Regulator in its last meeting on 1st of April had asked Dr. Reddy's to submit data on how the shot activates the body's immune response against the coronavirus. RDIF has claimed an effectiveness of 91.6% for the Sputnik V vaccine. Dr. Reddy's had applied for emergency use of Sputnik V in February this year. Upon approval, this will be the 3rd vaccine to be used in India after Serum Institute of India's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin.
The centre has prohibited exports of injection remdesivir and active pharmaceutical ingredients of remdesivir till COVID situation in the country improves. The Union Health Ministry said India is witnessing a recent surge in COVID cases and there are over 11 lakh active COVID cases. This has led to a sudden spike in demand for injection remdesivir used in the treatment of COVID patients. The ministry said there is a potential of further increase in this demand in the coming days. The ministry said all domestic manufacturers of remdesivir have been advised to display on their website the details of their stock lists and distributors to facilitate access to the drug. The government has clarified that appointment for COVID-19 vaccination cannot be booked through WhatsApp. PIB Fact Check has said that this claim circulating on social media is fake. PIB Fact Check has said that CoWIN portal and Arogya Setu app can be used for this purpose.
Delhi government today held a review meeting amidst rising cases of COVID-19 in the national capital. In a tweet, Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal informed that the Delhi government is taking several steps to increase beds in both private and government's health facilities. In view of the rapid rise in the city, the Chief Minister urged people to strictly follow all the COVID-19 protocols. He also appealed to the eligible people to come forward for vaccination. Yesterday, over 10,000 positive cases were registered in the city, which is the highest figure since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the national capital. The meeting between Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and members of the state's COVID task force is underway in Mumbai. Various measures to tackle the COVID situation in the state have been discussed in the meeting. Sources have said that many members of the task force are in favor of imposing a few days of lockdown in the state. Yesterday evening, also CM conducted the meeting of the task force. After that meeting, Health Minister Rajesh Tope hinted at more than a week-long lockdown in the state. He said final decision on imposing lockdown in the state will be taken by the Chief Minister himself. State Revenue Minister Bala Saheb Thorat has also said the strict curbs will be imposed in the state. Decision about 10th and 12th board exam will be taken in a day or two.
In Maharashtra, 63,294 new patients tested positive yesterday. In terms of number of tests performed, 11,80,136 samples were tested in the country yesterday, out of which 22%, that is 2,63,137, were in Maharashtra. A report from a Mumbai correspondent.
State Surveillance Officer Dr. Pradeep Avte has said that Maharashtra is the most urbanized state in the country and the population is highly dense in major cities. It is one of the reasons behind more number of patients in the state. In terms of patients per million population, he highlighted that state has around 23,000 patients per million population. It is much lower than Goa, Ladakh, Delhi, Kerala, Puducherry, etc. At present, country has more than 12 lakh active cases, out of which 47%, that is 5,65,000, are in Maharashtra. Out of total number of cases, 3% are critical, while 5% are on oxygen support outside ICU. Out of the total cases, 72% are from the age group of 21 to 60 years. During last 2 months, more than 32,000 children below the age of 10 years are tested positive in Maharashtra. In terms of gender, around 61% patients are male. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Gujarat High Court has asked the state government to take all possible steps to control the spread of COVID-19 infection in the state. Hearing a suo motu PIL over the coronavirus situation in Gujarat, the High Court bench headed by the Chief Justice observed that steps taken by the state government are not visible on the ground. Chief Justice Vikram Nath also questioned the state government that if there are sufficient stocks of remdesivir injections, then why it is not available to the patients. The High Court also asked the Gujarat government to take strict action for implementation of compulsory mask and night curfew among the people. The High Court asked the state government and the central government to file their replies before the next hearing, which is fixed on the 15th of April. Advocate General of Gujarat Government, Kamal Trivedi, told the High Court that the state government has taken a series of steps to check the spread of COVID-19 infections. He said that lockdown is not a solution which will trigger the large-scale migration and hardships to the daily wages. He said that the state government has increased the test on a daily basis, increased the COVID beds in government and private hospitals, and has enough stocks of medicines and injections required for COVID patients.
In Chhattisgarh, orders have been issued to impose complete lockdown in 17 districts by the respective administrations. Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel has sanctioned an amount of 50 crore rupees from the State Disaster Response Fund for the prevention of corona infection. Amid rapidly increasing cases of corona infection in Chhattisgarh, MLA funds will be utilized as well as the help of industrial houses will also be taken to increase the facility of oxygen in hospitals and to increase the number of ICU beds and ventilators. More from a Raipur correspondent Vikalp Shukla.
In Chhattisgarh, around 90,000 new cases of corona infection have been identified in the last 10 days. So far, 4,43,000 COVID-positive patients have been found in the state. The state government is making efforts to increase corona screening facilities. For this, the Chief Minister has allocated rupees 50 crores from the State Disaster Response Fund. In the last 10 days, 554 people have died due to corona infection. Considering the increasing number of deaths, the state government has decided to build electric crematorium in 6 urban areas of the state, including Raipur and Durg. Meanwhile, the corona vaccination campaign is also going on vigorously in the state. More than 1,63,000 people have been vaccinated yesterday. So far, the first dose of corona vaccine has been given to about 13% of the population of the state. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palanisamy held a meeting with regard to the rising COVID cases in the state at Chennai. The meeting was attended by the cabinet ministers and higher officials of the state. This is the first meeting to be held in Chennai after the assembly elections. Vaccination drive is becoming more popular as government officials and private apartments are volunteering for inoculation. In the past 24 hours, more than 6,000 people have tested corona positive in the state, bringing the total count of positive cases to 41,955. Odisha today will receive a fresh lot of COVID-19 vaccines. Speaking to AIR News, Dr. Vijay Panigrahi, State Health Director, said that the state is all set to receive 271,000 doses of Covishield today.
The existing stock of COVID-19 vaccines in the state comprises of about 1,60,000 doses of Covishield and a little over 71,000 doses of Covaxin. This stock being replenished shortly will further boost the ongoing Tika Mahotsav in the state. Meanwhile, the state's COVID-19 cumulative caseload has further mounted to over 3,51,000 with the detection of 1,741 fresh cases during the last 24 hours. Accordingly, the COVID-19 active caseload of the state has further shot up to 9,259. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Telangana reported 2,251 fresh COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. With this, the number of COVID cases reported in the state has gone up to over 3,29,000. With 565 more people recovering from COVID-19, the total recoveries in the state has gone up to over 3,05,900 with 92.82% recovery rate. 6 more persons succumbed to COVID-19 and other comorbidities, taking the total deaths in the state to 1,765. Meanwhile, over 97,000 people have been vaccinated on a single day yesterday in Telangana state. With this, over 21,58,000 people have been vaccinated so far in the state. Renowned singer Padmoja Fenani Joglekar has appealed to citizens to get vaccinated. She also urged everyone not to go out until they have urgent work and follow all the COVID protocols.
इन दिनों कोरोना बहुत ही बड़े पैमाने पे फैल रहा है। आप सभी से मेरी यही प्रार्थना है कि अगर आपको अति आवश्यक काम न हो तो घर से बाहर न निकलें। अगर कुछ वैसे ही महत्वपूर्ण काम के लिए निकलेंगे तो मास्क पहनना जरूरी है। सेफ डिस्टेंस रखना भी बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि कोरोना के जंतु दिखाई नहीं देते। नियम के अनुसार अगर वैक्सीनेशन के लिए आप पात्र हैं तो आप अवश्य और बेहिचक टीका जरूर लगवाएं। आपका परिवार स्वस्थ और खुश रहें, यही मेरी मंगल कामनाएं।
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Over 10 crore 45 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. 1,68,912 new COVID-19 cases reported in the country in the past 24 hours. Chhattisgarh government imposes lockdown in 17 districts amidst surge in COVID-19 cases. Maharashtra government and COVID task force discuss measures to be taken in the wake of spike in coronavirus cases in the state. Micro, small and medium enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari says government is committed to uplift MSME sector. Steps will generate 5 crore employment in this sector. Campaigning gathers momentum for the 5th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and for parliamentary bypolls in Tirupati and Belgaum. Withdrawal of candidature for 7th and 8th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal takes place today. Second Shahi Snan takes place in Kumbh Mela at Haridwar. Nomadland adjudged Best Picture at British Academy of Film and Television Arts BAFTA Awards. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Punjab Kings this evening at Mumbai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter, handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला
Welcome back. You are listening to the Midday News. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that the government is committed for the upliftment of MSME sector in the country. He said the government is taking several steps to increase the contribution of MSME industries in the economy, facilitating export capabilities and generation of job in this sector. He added that these steps will generate 5 crore employment in this sector. While addressing a conference on the digitalization, the key for MSMEs rise to resilience today, the minister said the overall contribution of MSME sector in the economy will be enhanced to 40% from the present level of 30% in the coming years. He said work is in progress to increase the export from MSMEs industries. In the poll-bound West Bengal, the high decibel electioneering campaign for the 5th phase of assembly elections is going on, with the prominent leaders of different political parties engaging in whirlwind tours for canvassing in favor of the candidates. The polling process has been completed in 135 out of total 294 assembly seats in the earlier 4 phases. The state is witnessing 8-phase elections. During the 5th phase of state assembly elections, 45 assembly seats spread over 6 districts of West Bengal will go to polls on the 17th of April. The Election Commission has decided to increase the silent period of the campaign for this phase by 24 hours, and as a result, the campaign will end a day earlier on Wednesday. The decision was taken after the mob storming and firing incident at polling station number 126 in Sitalkuchi Assembly constituency in Kuch Bihar district during the 4th phase of polling on last Saturday. 5 persons lost their lives in 2 incidents in the district. In all, 319 candidates, including 39 women, will be vying for the 45 assembly seats spread over 6 districts during the 5th phase. Total 15,789 polling stations have been set up for this purpose. Bharatiya Janata Party is contesting for all the 45 seats, while ruling AITC is contesting 42. Congress-led parties and the alliance partner Indian Secular Front are fighting under the banner of Sanjukta Morcha. BSP has fielded 32 candidates, CPIM has 25, Congress 11, AIFB 2, RSP, NPP and CPI 1 each, while there are 83 independents, along with 76 others also in the fray.
The election campaign is also on for the simultaneous by-elections of 2 Lok Sabha seats, including Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh and Belgaum in Karnataka, along with 13 assembly constituencies spread over 10 states. The assembly constituencies going in for the by-polls include 3 in Rajasthan, 2 in Karnataka and 1 each in Gujarat, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Mizoram, Odisha, Telangana and Uttarakhand. There are 161 candidates in the fray for 13 assembly seats, indicating largely multi-cornered contests. H. Chuba Chang has already been declared elected unopposed as he was the lone candidate for the Noksen assembly seat in Nagaland. In Andhra Pradesh, there are 28 candidates vying for the Tirupati parliamentary seat. Former Union Minister Dr. Panbaka Lakshmi is the Telugu Desam party candidate, while Chinta Mohan from Congress, K. Ratnaprabha from BJP and Nellore Yadgiri from CPIM are also in the fray. In Rajasthan, 10 candidates are contesting in Rajsamand, while 9 candidates are in fray for Sujangarh and 8 are there in Sahara Assembly constituency. The election campaign is now heating up in respect of the 6th phase of elections in West Bengal. In all, 43 assembly constituencies will go to polls in this phase on the 22nd of April. The final picture of candidature for the 7th as well as the 8th and final phase of assembly elections in West Bengal will become clear this evening as it is the last day for withdrawal of candidature. In all, 36 assembly constituencies will go to polls in the 7th phase on the 26th of April, while remaining 35 assembly constituencies will go to polls in the 8th phase on 29th of April. The counting of votes will be taken up together on the 2nd of May.
Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has claimed that in the 4 phases of elections in West Bengal, his party already got 100 seats and Trinamool Congress is getting wiped away. Addressing a public meeting in Bardhaman today, Prime Minister said that Trinamool Congress chief Mamata Banerjee is getting angrier day by day as the people of the state understood her game and decided to defeat her. He said Bengal wants jobs, Bengal wants BJP government. The Prime Minister will be attending 2 more public meetings in the state later today. On the other hand, TMC Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is addressing a rally at Ranaghat constituency in Noida. Presenting a list of development work done in the last 10 years, she claimed that her government will continue the work. She accused the BJP of spreading falsehood and criticized the BJP leaders for the controversial comments regarding Sitalkuchi. She will be attending more rallies in North 24 Parganas today. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah held a roadshow for party candidate at Kalimpong in Northeast. Several party workers and supporters joined the Home Minister in the roadshow. Polling at Kalimpong seat will be held on the 17th of this month.
A BJP delegation today submitted memorandum to the Election Commission regarding violation of Model Code of Conduct by Trinamool Congress leader Sujata Mondal Khan. BJP has said that statement made by Sujata Mondal Khan against the scheduled caste community of West Bengal and terming them beggars by nature is a highly disparaging, insulting statement. The party has said Trinamool Congress has not given anything to the scheduled castes in the past 10 years, and now the TMC is saying that these people are going to the BJP because of the small greed. High-pitched campaigning is seen for the April 17th by-polls to Belgaum Lok Sabha and Maski and Basava Kalyan Assembly segments in Karnataka. Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and Leader of the Opposition Siddaramaiah, BJP State President Nalin Kumar Katil and Congress State President D.K. Shivkumar are among those campaigning in the by-election. There are 10 candidates contesting from the Belgaum Lok Sabha seat, 12 candidates from Basav Kalyan and 8 from Maski Assembly seats. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
The ruling BJP has fielded Mangala Suresh Angadi, the widow of late Union Railway Minister Suresh Angadi from Belgaum Lok Sabha seat. The Congress State Working President Satish Jarkiholi is fielded against the BJP candidate. Satish Jarkiholi is the sitting MLA from M. Kanamaradi. In Basava Kalyan Assembly seat, Sharanu Shalgar is the BJP candidate. Mallamma is the Congress candidate and Sayyid Ali Khadri is contesting from JDS. Mallamma is the widow of B. Narayan Rao, the MLA whose death due to COVID infection necessitated the by-election in Basava Kalyan. In Maski, former MLA Pratap Gowda Patil, who quit Congress, is the BJP candidate, while Basan Gowda Turvihal, who quit BJP, is the Congress candidate. JDS has not put its candidate from the Belgaum Lok Sabha and Maski Assembly by-election. A former MLA, Mallikarjun Khuba, is contesting the Basava Kalyan seat as an independent after he was denied the ticket by BJP. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Second Shahi Snan takes place in Kumbh Mela at Haridwar on the auspicious occasion of Somvati Amavasya today. More in this report from a Dehradun correspondent.
Devotees from different parts of the country reached Haridwar to take holy dip in the river Ganga at various ghats in the city. Today is also the second Shahi Snan of Mahakumbh, which is being organized here after 12 years. All the Sant Akhadas are taking part in Shahi Snan according to the time allotted to them by the administration. Nepal's last king, Gyanendra Bir Bikram Shah Dev, is also at Mahakumbh for Shahi Snan. The administration has imposed a number of restrictions to prevent the growing infection of corona. Raghavesh Pandey, AIR News, Dehradun.
A Sanskrit learning app will be launched in Bangladesh by the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center IGCC of the High Commission of India today. The Sanskrit learning app is a part of the campaign being run by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations ICCR to promote Sanskrit language among students, religious scholars, Indologists and historians across the world. The Sanskrit learning app Little Guru is based on an interactive platform which will make Sanskrit learning easy, entertaining and fun.
Gig Economy Western Nomadland won 4 prizes, including Best Picture at the British Academy of Film and Television Arts BAFTA last night. The awards were given during a pandemic-curbed ceremony that recognized a diverse array of screen talent. Nomadland filmmaker Chloe Zhao became only the second woman and the first woman of color to win the BAFTA for Best Director, and star Frances McDormand was named Best Actress. Nomadland also took the cinematography prize. Emerald Fennell's revenge comedy Promising Young Woman was named the best British film, while the Best Actor trophy went to 83-year-old Anthony Hopkins for playing a man grappling with dementia in The Father. The event rewarded a diverse group of talent. Tropical cyclone Seroja has ripped across a 1,000-kilometer stretch of Western Australia, leaving a trail of damage. The Category 3 storm made landfall near the town of Kalabari yesterday with wind speed of up to 170 km per hour. Residents reported smashed houses, fallen trees and downed power lines, the Bureau of Meteorology said. While the storm had weakened, damaging gusts were still expected today, with peak winds of 110 km an hour. In sports, in IPL cricket today, Rajasthan Royals will take on Punjab Kings at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai at 7:30 p.m. Yesterday, Kolkata Knight Riders kicked off their campaign with a winning note after beating Sunrisers Hyderabad by 10 runs in Chennai. Put into bat first, Eoin Morgan-led KKR scored 187 for 6 in the stipulated 20 overs, riding on opener Nitish Rana's 80 off 56 balls and Rahul Tripathi's 53 off 29. For David Warner-led SRH, Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi took 2 wickets each, while Bhuvneshwar Kumar and T. Natarajan got a wicket each. In reply, Sunrisers Hyderabad could only make 177 for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs with help of Manish Pandey's unbeaten 61 off 44 balls.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with temperature rising up to 39 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature recorded was 18 degrees. Mumbai and Chennai also expected to have partly cloudy sky. The maximum temperature in Mumbai will be around 36 degrees, while the minimum was 24 degrees. In Chennai, temperature will rise from a minimum of 27 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 35 degrees. Kolkata may have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city recorded a minimum temperature of 22 degrees Celsius and a maximum may move up to nearly 35 degrees. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with the temperature rising from a minimum of 8 to a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. Jammu will also have partly cloudy sky with the temperature moving from 20 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 34 degrees. Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are expected to have generally cloudy sky. In Leh, minimum temperature was minus 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 8 degrees. In Gilgit, the temperature will rise from a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 24 degrees. In Muzaffarabad, the maximum temperature will be around 27 degrees, while the minimum was 11 degrees. The Sensex and the Nifty today plunged more than 3.5% in afternoon trade. The domestic stocks stumbled in sync with heavy losses in the global equity markets amid resurgence of COVID-19 infections. The Sensex and the Bombay Stock Exchange fell below 48,000 mark, while the Nifty and the National Stock Exchange slipped to trade near 14,300 level. The Sensex plunged 1,740 points or 3.51% to trade at 47,852 and the Nifty declined 522 points or 3.52% to trade at 14,313. The rupee at the foreign exchange market also weakened 14 paise to 74 rupees and 88 paise against the US dollar in afternoon deals. And now, before I end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Over 10 crore 45 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. 1,68,912 new COVID-19 cases reported in the country in the past 24 hours. Chhattisgarh government imposes lockdown in 17 districts amid surge in COVID-19 cases. Maharashtra government and COVID task force discuss measures to be taken in the wake of spike in coronavirus cases in the state. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari says government is committed to uplift MSME sector. Steps will generate 5 crore employment in this sector. Campaigning gathers momentum for the 5th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and for parliamentary by-polls in Tirupati and Belgaum. Withdrawal of candidature for 7th and 8th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal takes place today. Second Shahi Snan takes place in Kumbh Mela at Haridwar. Nomadland adjudged Best Picture at the British Academy of Film and Television Arts BAFTA Awards. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Punjab Kings this evening at Mumbai. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the Midday News.